Mobland is a streaming series on Paramount Plus, executive produced by Ritchie and Tom Hardy, and starring Tom Hardy, Helen Mirren, and Pierce Brosnan. This show is about a crime family, the Harrigans, who operate in London. Season 1 is about a gang war between the Harrigans and Stevensons, a rival crime family, stemming from a brutal, off-screen murder committed by Eddie Harrigan, the youngest member of the family. My first question when watching this show was, where are the police? I've only watched a handful of episodes, but there's nary a police badge in sight. The gangs operate with impunity for the most part. The Harrigans live like members of the royal family at their estate. The patriarch, Conrad, plots murders while duck hunting. The matriarch, Maeve, plots murders over tea. They're like King Charles and Queen Camilla if the monarchy decided to go into the fentanyl trade. Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren play Conrad and Maeve with gusto. They're very convincing. Street fentanyl is a horrible drug. It's already destroyed generations and communities, so I'll be intrigued to find out in future episodes if they deal with the moral failures that underlie the lavish display of wealth on this show. Tom Hardy stars as Harry D'Souza, a fixer for the Harrigans. His acting keeps this show gritty and realistic. He's written as a sympathetic character, an everyman who's just trying to support his family, and he's not giving the orders per se. He's not the boss. He's just brutally efficient at his job. His character is sort of like Tom Wambsgans from the HBO series Succession. Tom was a loyal soldier who ended up at the top of the heap because we're led to understand he was the worst of them all, really. So maybe that's what this series Mobland has in store for future episodes. And there may be a season 2. We don't know yet. My criticism of this show, based on the episodes I've watched, is that the story needed to be told with more omniscience. As of now, the audience is too close to the characters. We see events from their point of view, which is through denial and apathy for the destructiveness of their actions. That's accurate in terms of how criminals probably approach their lives, and there are flashbacks of police brutality on this show. But as audience members, we understand that there's no justification for a life of crime that destroys generations and communities. It doesn't need to be done in a didactic manner. On HBO's Succession, for example, we didn't get to see the irreversible extent of Tom's corruption until the very last episode. So I may be getting ahead of myself, but I would like more omniscience from the storytelling in future episodes. And now, I did want to mention a couple of news items. The trial of Diddy. He's being prosecuted for federal crimes, racketeering, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. The transportation is not as serious, but racketeering and sex trafficking could bring penalties of up to life in prison. People who were in the gallery during the trial testimony have spoken to the media, and I've watched their interviews. So after watching them, in my estimation, the prosecution has probably met its burden already on the sex trafficking charge. My concern was that Cassie Ventura was the only alleged trafficking victim, and the defense could argue it was domestic violence involving the one woman. But apparently the prosecution had planned to present 3 more victims of sex trafficking. One of them backed out of testifying. 2 of them did testify, and now there's 3 victims, Cassie and the 2 anonymous victims who all allege they were sex trafficked. The defense isn't required to put on any evidence after the prosecution rests. The defense can argue that Diddy's acts amounted to state-level crimes of domestic violence, assault, battery, but not the federal charges at issue in the trial. Diddy's actions didn't cause the death of the alleged victim, so the defense must be feeling confident that any state law charges wouldn't bring a substantial amount of prison time. Next news item. President Trump and Elon Musk. Elon Musk is not an elected official. He didn't have to answer to taxpayers. He reported to the president. According to news reports, it was reported in all the mainstream news outlets, Elon Musk was using drugs quite heavily, which might explain his recent public outbursts against the president. Elon Musk has left his job with the government and is now publicly bad-mouthing the president. I don't know whether Elon Musk was using illegal drugs. It probably wasn't street fentanyl, but talk about the destructive impact of alleged drug abuse. And in the trial of Diddy, the prosecution alleges pervasive drug abuse as well. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe.